my name is Caitlin Yande, and I'm a student at the University of San Diego. Today I will be reporting on my study called The Dancing Gorilla, Psychology Students Fall to Selective Attention Bias. Before I begin, I'm going to quickly preview what I'll be covering in this presentation. The main points I'll be hitting of my study are the definition of selective attention bias, also known as inattentional blindness, introduction, background research, hypothesis, participants, materials, procedure, results, and discussion. First is the intro. The topic of my study is the selective attention bias, which is when a person focuses more of their attention on a stimulus that they neglect to realize what is happening in their surroundings. This is an important thing to study because once we understand why our brains fool us, then we can exonerate ourselves from the effect. Now I'll briefly go over 3 studies I used as background research. The first one is Bredheimer and Simmons. It basically talked about, they count the number of times that the white shapes touch the sides of the monitor, and during one of the trials, a green cross moved horizontally, or gray cross moved horizontally across the monitor during one of the trials. And in that one, about 71% of the people actually noticed that happened. The next study is going to be Gabby, Abney, and Hennick, which they examined whether central arrows can produce attentional oriented. And about 60% of those people did not realize that that was happening. And the last one is Graham and Burke. And I'm not going to go into great detail about that one because it's actually very similar to our study, and it's about the invisible gorilla video. Next is my study, which entails college students viewing a video testing for selective attention bias, followed by answering 2 questions. My hypothesis is after having participants complete the study, results should verify that about half the people fall to a selective attention bias. Okay, so next is going to be the participants. The participants in the study were 21 undergraduate psychology students from a small private university in Southern California. The majority of the participants were female and in their first year of college. Age range was between 18 to 21, and the participants were studying either behavioral neuroscience, psychology, or stated undeclared. Materials include a piece of paper, a writing utensil, and a short video. The video has 3 people wearing white and 3 people wearing black, passing a basketball to individuals with the same color shirt as theirs. Participants were asked to count the number of times the people in white passed the basketball among their team. Mid-video, a gorilla came through the scene and walked, and this was to test selective attention bias. When the scene was over, the number of passes was revealed, which was 15, and people were asked if they saw the gorilla. Next is procedure, which entails the teacher's instructions to take out a piece of paper and a writing utensil and pay attention to the video. After the participants viewed the video, they recorded the number of passes they saw on the piece of paper. Then the teacher told the participants to raise their hand if they saw the gorilla in the video, then recorded the tally. She replayed the video after doing so. And then also, no previous knowledge was needed or provided, and it was in limited time. Next is going to be the results, and the results presented in this table are the measures of central tendency for passes. We see the range is 8 to 22, the mean 15.27, standard deviation 2.43, median and mode were 15. The results continued is going to be a pie chart of, it basically shows how many participants spotted a gorilla versus how many did not. 52 did not see it, and 48 did. And now we're getting to the discussion. To recap, participants viewed a video and were asked 2 questions regarding what they had seen, and results show that about half the students did not see the gorilla, which supports the idea of selective attention bias. Connecting this study with the 3 I talked about earlier, all the results are pretty consistent. The studies just provide different stimuluses. The strengths of this study are that the professor did not provide any information prior to the video that would sway the answers of the participants, and also time was unlimited. The limitations were that a few of the participants had seen the video prior, and also the question regarding whether the participants had seen the gorilla should have been recording on a piece of paper so that they weren't swayed by their peers. And then a quick overview is that the majority of the college students that participated in this study counted the correct number of passes, but most did not see the gorilla. These puzzling results are subject to the idea of selective attention bias. that humans can only really focus their attention on one thing. And lastly, these are the 3 references that I used for the background research. Thank you.